Almost every day, I hear from one of my constituents telling me their concerns about what is taking place in Washington, D.C. We've spent ourselves into not just a $20 trillion debt, but a $140 trillion unfunded liability, which means that you as a taxpayer owe $800,000 in taxes. The EPA seeks to control our land with impunity. The Department of Education imposes their views and steals the private information of our children to give to corporations. And they refuse to protect us from a human invasion that's happening on our borders. We have allowed a monstrosity of a bureaucracy to be created that even Congress cannot rein in, whether it's their uncontrollable spending habits or the huge volume of new crushing regulations. Washington, D.C. isn't working like it should. As a matter of fact, the balance of power that used to exist has been given way to partisan extremes that makes it impossible for even the best intentioned politicians to make a real difference. That's why I and many others around the country believe that we must make some important changes to our Constitution, like requiring them to balance their budget and use the same generally accepted accounting principles that everyone else has to live by. It also is important that we encourage our elected officials to do the people's business and not think of Washington, D.C. as a career to run out their retirement clock. That's why we need some reasonable term limits. And lastly, I think most Missourians and Americans would agree that the rules and regulations that we live under should be voted on by our elected representatives. Regulations should not just happen by a faceless bureaucrat who is not responsible to the people. I know that some of my friends have concerns about a constitutional convention, but under Article 5 of the Constitution, every day that Congress is in session in Washington, D.C., they have the ability to propose amendments to the Constitution already. The problem is they aren't willing to limit their authority. Plus, some of the amendments that they've submitted to the states have actually resulted in increasing the size and power of the federal government. Our framers foresaw this as a possibility, which is why the Constitution allows for the states to convene a convention for the purpose of drafting and proposing amendments. And if 38 states agree, then we can place real checks on Congress. The process is sound, and it has the best opportunity that we have to making reasonable adjustments to restoring our republic. The bottom line is that changing those who are in office only rearranges the deck chairs on the Titanic. We need to address the real problem, the system. We've waited long enough for Congress to fix this problem. It's time for the people to speak with one voice and tell them, you will balance the federal budget and use generally accepted accounting principles. You will serve for a time and then come home to live under the same laws you passed. And you will vote on all the rules, regulations, and laws that we have to abide by. No more hiding behind faceless bureaucrats. Article 5, Convention of the States, is our best hope for restoring the balance of power in Washington, D.C., and making our federal government adhere to the wishes of the people. Help me by supporting House Concurrent Resolution 57, a call for a Convention of States. For more information, please go to conventionofstates.com or my constituent website, ericburlison.net. Thank you.